All right, we are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, with a new episode of the Authority Project where we teach you, the project, how to put authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And we have my new friend here, Creighton Wong, here, who tells us that he's going to bring us back to the fundamentals of business with his ultimate business playbook. Is that correct, sir?
That is absolutely correct. Happy to be on this show, Bryan.
Awesome. All right, we're going to get started here on this latest episode of the Authority Project. All right, we are back, and we're going to get started because I know we have a lot to cover today. So please just tell us really quick who you are personally and then professionally.
Yeah, so my name is Creighton Wong, and I am the founder and owner of Exponential Clients, where we help businesses get massive growth. And when I'm not hammering away at the business, which is quite frankly a lot of my time, I like traveling the world. I am giving you this shout out from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam at the moment. And so I'm a voracious traveler, a lover of food, and just a curious individual all the way around.
I like that. A foodie on here. Okay, I got you. Awesome stuff. So tell us right now, just start hacking away on the business playbook that you want to share with us today. Just go right ahead. Just get started with that.
Yeah, so it's a quick training. It's about an hour long, and what we do is we go through the fundamentals of business, because in today's day and age, the what we call the tactics are there's never been as many tactics as there are today. Whether it's Facebook advertising, TikTok dances, and Instagram posts, and that's just on the digital world. Yeah. And let alone there's all the old school stuff from print to billboards and TV and radio spots. So there's never been more tactics at our disposal. But which tactic works for you? And that's really what the Ultimate Business Growth Playbook is all about. And that's what we cover in there. And there's three main tenets on it. The first is research. So that's the very basic fundamental. Whether you are a business that has been successful but are kind of finding a stagnant growth, or whether you're a budding brand new entrepreneur, it doesn't really matter. You still need to always go back to the fundamentals of research. And what do I mean by that is you got to know the landscape of everything that's happening. And in today's world, the landscape is changing massively all the time, right? We had this virus come in and blow up the entire economy, and everything's, the whole world's changed. And so again, the tactics are the same, but the fundamentals, the tactics change, but the fundamentals are always the same. And so one of the things that we do is we take a new client and we say, all right, I want to know everything there is to possibly know about you, the person, and your business, and your vertical, the business that you're in, your service, your products. I want to know who your top competitors are. I want to know the landscape of everything. I want as much information as I possibly can. And when we go through the Business Growth Playbook, you'll see we do analogies to how this is akin to film study. If you're a championship football team, or if you're in the military, it's the same thing as gathering intel.
Yeah.
You don't set your path. You don't set a game plan without doing as much research as possible. And what we have found is that by doing that deep dive and doing the research on, your business, that tells us where the opportunity for you lies. We've had guys come in and they thought they wanted to be ranked #1 on Google, but the research told us, hey, no. Your target audience, your target market is hanging out on Facebook.
Yeah.
We have guys that want to come in and do paid advertising. We're like, do you know how much search volume is on your particular, on your particular product or service? This is where we need to put the investment of time and energy, because it's going to give you those dollars back.
Yeah.
Because if you're like most businesses, especially right now, going through this COVID pandemic, it's like every dollar counts.
Yeah.
And you've got to recoup that as fast as you can.
Yeah.
But even though we love speed, especially in this digital world where we get instant gratification all the time, we still have to take the time to just do the research so we know where the opportunity is, and then we can set the game plan going forward.
So how long does that research usually take, do you think, when you go through it with a client?
I mean,
or is it ongoing?
Okay, so 2 answers, right? The first is we invest heavily in the tools to do the research. So if you were going to go the DIY route and do it yourself, it could take a little while, and you got to make sure that you've got the right tools and you're getting the right data coming back in. We invest, I think, gosh, what is it, like $125,000 a year on these sorts of research tools, and we'll do it for you. Like we'll find it for you. So, and it doesn't take that long, for us. Sometimes we can do it in one sitting. Sometimes we need to take a deeper dive, and it'll take a little bit, take a little bit more, a little bit longer, and everything. But yeah, it's not like we're not talking about weeks or months here. No, we're talking about one day, maybe two at the most. Now, having said that, I think you almost jumped the shark there, right? Because the third and final fundamental is, okay, let's go and execute. So you drop the game plan as the best you can. There's no such thing as a perfect game plan. And then you go to execute. Well, to use the analogy of a sports team, right? It's you go and play the game. But as you're playing the game, you're getting more and more data, more and more intel coming in about what the opposing team's doing, what your team's doing, who's gotten hurt, who's coming in the game, and everything. And so with that new data, you have to be flexible and constantly adjust. So yes, we do the research in the beginning, but it's not like the old school Ronco days, right? Where it's set it and forget it. No, this is a constant part of moving forward, because you could literally have a campaign that's doing okay.
Yeah.
But if you just tweak it a bit, then all of a sudden, now you've 10x your revenue.
Right.
And so we're constantly fine tuning. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if every month you could get even just a 0.5% improvement over the course of a year, I mean, those are massive business growth numbers.
Awesome. So looking at that, just in your experience, how much does it change? I want to say maybe I don't want to say per week, but maybe like per month or per quarter. How do you see things changing, or is it a daily thing when you're looking at the data that way? With things changing,
I think it depends. I mean, early on, it's a day by day thing, right? Because you want to stay on top of it and you don't want to let it get away from you. But as you go on, you watch it closely, but you don't need to check it every single day. You could probably skip, every other day, and still be on top of it once it's working.
Yeah.
The reason you got to check it every day in the beginning is because you got to make sure that it's working.
Yeah.
And then later on, I mean, I've seen campaigns where we're chugging along and it's like life is good. And then all of a sudden it just falls off of a cliff, and it's like, oh man, what happened? We got to dive in here, and we got to get in here and figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of times it's no fault of anybody's. It's just Facebook, Google, Instagram. They changed their algorithm that day.
Right.
And now all of a sudden the old rules are now replaced by new rules. And so just imagine that, right? You show up to a football game and now you're playing soccer, and it's like,
yeah,
we got to adjust what we're doing.
Right. So I think that's the reason why people sometimes are hesitant to get into doing full-fledged marketing campaigns. What is your approach to like paid as opposed to organic, or do you have a balance of that, or are you just strictly mostly going into paid campaigns when you do that with your brands?
Well,
that you work with.
Again, it starts with research, and there's two main things that we're looking at. So the very first thing is, what are your goals? Because if your goals is, I need a client yesterday, right? Because you've got it going.
Right.
Paid ads is going to get you the fastest return on things. Okay. It just is. For example, search, which is organic, sort of. And I say sort of because now if you really want to compete in search, it's still pay to play. But in its organic results, it's a slower it's a slower return on investment, because it might take a month, it might take 2 months, right, to matriculate up the charts and get into that first spot on the first page of Google. But those are highly, highly valuable and qualified leads. So that's the first thing, is we need to know what your goals are. Because if you've got the funds and you've got the patience to get there, that's going to be a great strategy for you.
Yeah.
The other thing we look at is, where's the opportunity? Because if there's no opportunity on Facebook, for example, we can still do paid. We're just going to do paid on Google.
Okay.
And then overlay the organic search, so that when the organic search gets up to the top, then you don't have to continue paying for the Google ads.
Okay.
Because now you rank there organically.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy your way to the top. But buying your way in is always, it's always going to be an effective strategy. And we've seen, I've seen campaigns blow up within the first 24 hours. Because you can laser target your audience. Yeah.
Now, I don't want to skip away from the playbook. I'm not sure if you have more. Do you have more on the playbook? Because I can talk about this all day.
Those are the three. Those are the three big key things, right? You gotta research everything. You got to do the homework, and it takes some work and it takes some patience. But it's not. It's not astronomical, And then you let that drive the game plan, and then just remember, again, when you're executing, you've got to constantly upgrade your game plan when you get new data coming in.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you see? So here's what I want to say with the research part, because you'll see people who are doing this, and it seems like it's busy work, as opposed to really nail down research, and they're not building revenue, in the time that they want to. So how do you approach your research so it's focus driven, and it gets you to a point where they want to get to a point where they can get to the revenue quicker?
Sure. So I'll give you an example. When we talk about building your LinkedIn profile or building a website, what we always talk, or sending a cold email campaign, what we always talk about is speak your client's language. Speak to their pain points, their frustrations, their challenges, You got to intimately understand that. That's why when I said the first step in our research is we want to understand you. I've got to know you better than you know yourself. And likewise, you need to know your clientele better than they know themselves.
Yeah.
And so if you've already got a business, it's super easy. You shoot out an email with a little survey, and you have them tell you what the answer is. Now, if you're just getting going, you might have to cold poll people or something like that, or just do the best you can. And then this is what I mean by it's an ongoing process. Is when you go from, I don't know, say 10 clients to 50 clients to 100 clients, all of a sudden now you have a bigger base and you can figure out you get to know your customer, your client more intimately, and then you can update your LinkedIn profile, your website, your email campaigns, because you speak their language better than they speak their language.
Awesome. So I think that there's I'm glad you're on here, because there's a divide. And I don't want to stick on. I do want to stick to this point because there's a divide where I think everybody is pretty clear on know who your customer is,
Sure.
deeply, your avatar, get the data get the correct data, and be focused on that. But then there's an approach where they're saying do something organic before you do something paid. But then you have some people say it's easier, like you just said, it's faster to do it paid and targeted than to go the slow grind of organic. So then there's people who say that, just balance it out. You need organic and paid. In your experience, I don't want to put more words in your mouth, but do you feel that it's still easier when you're starting out to do paid if you can afford it?
Yes and no. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be a little wishy-washy on it. Well, okay. So like I said, it's going to. There's no one size fits all,
okay.
Right? So if you got somebody selling you a magic bullet, run for the hills. It really is going to come down to the individual client. Some entrepreneurs starting off have very little budget. Some of them have money. Some of them have got I don't know, VC funding. So it depends. It depends where you're at. With that. It also, I would not dive into paid ads until you've got to be perfectly honest with yourself. If you really understand your market, because it is so easy to, if you don't fully understand it, it is so easy to miss the mark. And then the next thing you know, you've got X number of dollars thrown into a marketing campaign that doesn't work. And that was your last X amount of dollars that you had towards marketing. It's super easy to lose money fast on paid advertising, because it does take a certain level of time and skill to keep fine tuning it so that you can get that return.
Awesome. So let's dive into now, since you are obviously an authority in your field, how can you show others, and I'm going to name your field basically as a digital agency, a digital marketing agency. Would that be correct? Okay.
That is correct.
So how can people, when starting out or trying to get into this field, how can they start out and eventually be an authority in what you do? That's the question.
So somebody wanting to jump into digital marketing?
Right. Oh, well, to be an agency like yours.
Sure. I think there's two routes you can go if you're just starting out. The first is go get a job, and with an agency and learn. Be around, be the dumbest person in the room, because you've got nowhere to go. If you work hard and you apply yourself, you got nowhere to go but up. and you can learn a lot of the tricks in the trade and get paid for it at the same time, while you're trying to figure it out. Now, let's say you've got some skills or some learning and you want to put your own shingle out there. There's two big challenges to opening up, your own agency. The first is awareness. How does anybody know that you even exist? Right? So what is your strategy for getting the word out there that you exist and that people will know about you? Right? One of my strategies is guesting on awesome podcasts like this.
Right?
Because this gives me a platform to reach out and share, the way I do things. And if it resonates with somebody out there, then we'll have a conversation with it.
Right.
Okay. If you catch me on LinkedIn, I'm a voracious poster on there, and I'm building up my authority out there by giving away a lot of really valuable advice out there. So it's really coming from a place of give. Okay, just give out there. So the second part of it, which I think is the part that you're looking for, is you've got awareness. That's a challenge. And then the other thing is authority. So great, somebody is aware that you exist, but now why should they trust you?
Yeah.
And there's tons of ways to go ahead and do that. If you're just starting out, gosh, go find 10 clients that you're willing to work for free for. And just say, hey, look, I'm going to run this campaign for you for 1 or 2 months and get you some awesome results. The only thing I'm going to ask in return is a video testimonial and blah, blah, blah. And then go get awesome results.
Yeah.
And then go get those testimonials. And when you get those testimonials and you post them on your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook business page or your Facebook page, your website.
Yeah.
And then when people start showing up there, they're like, oh, this guy's got some results. Because that's what people ultimately want to see is, okay, you tell me you can 10x my business. And that sounds really good. But you know what? You know how easy it is to say you can 10x somebody's business? You just say I 10x somebody's business, right? It's super easy. But can you actually do it?
Yeah.
And that's where people want, people want to see the proof in the pudding. So whether it's testimonials or reviews, whether it's case studies are great. Yeah. So if you go through the Ultimate Business Growth Playbook, boy, I think we drop like 15 to 20 case studies in there because we want you to understand that this stuff works, not just in theory, not just because I'm teaching it, but because we've actually had clients go through this process and come out the other side.
Yeah.
Just a changed business.
Yeah. Absolutely. Unbelievable. So I have one last question.
All right.
And so say the person is gone through all the processes. They started out, they got their 10 clients, they're really rolling or what have you. Or maybe that's not even the scenario. Scrap that.
Okay. All right. You over.
What just to redo this one. What is the biggest mistake you see out there with digital agencies out there in your experience that they're doing incorrectly that they should improve on when marketing their products and services?
I call it the I syndrome. And it's all about I. And I get it because cool, you just opened up a business and you need money and you need clients really, really fast. And so you can't take, so you're looking for the quickest route. And by the way, I've been there, so I know that and I understand. And I made that mistake too. I mean, if you're gonna sit there and what I mean by it's thinking about yourself instead of your client first. You really need to come from a mindset where you're just trying to add value to the client, and you're just trying to build a relationship, with them. And it's just too many people ask for the sale too quickly. And, if you're a digital marketing agency and you want to charge, I don't know, $1,500, $2,500 per month for your services, it's not like picking up a bar of soap from the the local drugstore where you just don't even think twice about it. Like if somebody's going to spend their hard-earned money on you, they've got to think about it a little bit. And so you got to do a little bit of a dance, and you've got to build that rapport and build that trust with them. So that's the biggest mistake that I see is that people just get into this. It's a little bit of a selfish mentality, saying I need this, I need this, I need this. Yes, you do, but that's not the way.
Yeah,
that's not the way to build a relationship. And we make it akin to you see a pretty girl at the bar and you go up and talk to her, and the very first thing out of your mouth is, "Would you like to marry me?" Right? It's just too soon. Too soon.
Right.
Do the dance. Do the dance.
I love it. Incredible stuff, man. Love the interaction. We had some tough questions on you, but I appreciate you handling everything like a pro. Amazing.
I love the tough questions. Make me think a little bit, but the tough questions are necessary, because this is the way we can deliver some really awesome content to your viewers.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Incredible stuff. Just amazing content, amazing insights. So please tell us right now where people can, and if you're watching, if you see him, if you see Creighton right now, he is a trooper out there. He is a faulty air conditioner. He's sweating like crazy, but he's still pushing out incredible content. Big ups to you, man. Big ups to you for that.
I know. You see me wipe my brow a few times.
He's doing great. So please tell us right now where people can find you online and connect with you further.
Yeah, really two main places. If you can find me on Facebook, great. But exponentialclients.com, that's where you can grab a hold of and take a peek at the Ultimate Business Growth Playbook. And I am on LinkedIn quite a bit, so I'm pretty easy to find over there. And if you're going to reach out and connect with me, just drop a line. Say, hey, look, I saw you on the Authority Show, and want to connect with you. Happy to have a chat.
Awesome. I love it. So I think that's a wrap. Unless you have any final words at all to share.
No, man, this was fun. And like I said, to the business owners out there, whether you're in digital marketing or whether you have your own business, it just, like I said, if anybody's got a magic bullet or a one size fits all, run for the hills, because you're unique. You are unique. Your business is unique. And we need to do a unique set of research for you so that you can be successful.
I love it. And that's a wrap for this show. If you want to have further trainings like this and being an authority, have more clarity about being an authority in your field, like Creighton, join us at the Authority Business Academy, a Facebook group, free of charge there. So that is it for this episode of the Authority Project.